Hello, welcome to my channel. Enjoy your viewing and have a good romantic mood. In the picturesque village nestled at the foot of the majestic mountains, lived a young man named Oles. His life flowed calmly and steadily, like a river that washed over his native village. But in Oles's soul, wanderlust dreams raged. His great-grandfather, a famous traveler and explorer, once told him a legend about a treasure hidden in the mountains. According to the legend, this treasure belonged to a mighty prince who perished in battle with a fierce enemy. Anticipating his death, the prince hid his wealth in a secret cave so that it wouldn't fall into the hands of the invaders. Since childhood, Oles believed in this legend. Its tales stirred his imagination, painting images of gold, precious stones, and countless treasures. And so, when Oles turned 18, he decided to fulfill his dream, to find the prince's treasure. Oles meticulously prepared for the expedition. He studied all available maps, bought the necessary equipment, and learned everything he could about the mountains and their dangers. One early morning, as the sun was just painting the sky with its first rays, Oles set out on his journey. His backpack was filled with everything necessary, and in his heart burned the thirst for adventure. The path to the mountains was not easy. Oles had to overcome rocky paths, cross turbulent rivers, and push through dense thickets. But the young man did not give up. He believed that the treasure awaited him. On the fourth day of the journey, exhausted and discouraged, Oles stopped near the foot of the mountain. He was already thinking about returning home when suddenly he heard a voice. "Welcome, traveler," echoed from behind the rocks. Oles was surprised. He saw no one. "Do not be afraid, I will not harm you," the voice echoed again. From behind the rocks appeared an old man. He was dressed in simple peasant clothes, and his face was wrinkled like an old map. "I know what you are seeking," said the old man. "The prince's treasure. But the path to it is not easy, and not everyone can pass it." Oles was impressed. How did this old man know about his quest? "I can help you," the old man continued. "But you must be ready for trials." Oles agreed without hesitation. He was ready to do anything to find the treasure. The old man led Oles onto a mountain path. "This is the path to the treasure," he said. "But before you step onto it, you must pass 3 trials. Are you ready?" Oles nodded. He was filled with determination. The first trial was the simplest yet the most insidious. Oles had to navigate through a dense forest without losing his way. The old man gave him only one compass. "You do not trust your eyes," he warned. "Here, nothing is as it seems." Oles entered the forest. The trees around him seemed alive, their branches reaching out to him like hungry hands. The young man proceeded cautiously, relying solely on the compass. He knew that one wrong step could lead him into the depths of the forest with no way out. Hours passed slowly. Oles began to doubt his own strength when suddenly, in front of him, a clearing appeared. In the middle of it stood a single tree, from which emanated a bright light. Oles approached the tree. It was an apple tree, its branches laden with ripe, juicy fruits. The young man rejoiced, as he hadn't eaten for several days. He reached out to pluck an apple, but the old man who suddenly appeared beside him stopped him. "Do not eat," he exclaimed. "These apples are an illusion. Eat them and you'll be stuck here forever." Oles jerked his hand back. He realized he had almost fallen for deception. He thanked the old man and continued on, relying solely on the compass. Finally, after hours of wandering, Oles emerged from the forest. He had passed the first trial. The second trial was a raging mountain river. The old man gave Oles only a rope and oars. "Across the river," he commanded. "But remember, it hides underwater currents that can drag you down." Ols constructed an improvised raft from tree branches and tied them with the rope. He pushed the raft into the water and began to row. The river surged, waves crashing against the raft, trying to overturn it. But Ols did not give up. He rowed with all his might, trying to avoid the turbulent currents. Suddenly, the raft spun in a whirlpool. Ols lost his balance and fell into the water. The cold water stung his body. He feared being dragged down, but he managed to grab onto a tree branch growing on the shore. Gathering his last strength, he pulled himself onto the bank. He was soaked to the bone but alive. He had passed the second trial. The third trial was the most difficult. The old man led Ols to the base of a massive cliff. Climb this cliff, he said. But remember, it is guarded by griffins, mythical creatures with the body of a lion and the head of an eagle. Ols was terrified. He had heard legends of griffins, but never imagined facing them in reality. Summoning all his courage, he began to climb the cliff. The path was steep and treacherous. When Ols was almost at the top, he heard a terrifying cry. From behind the cliff flew a huge creature, its body like a lion's, its head like an eagle's. Ols froze in fear. The griffin circled above him, its sharp claws glinting in the sun. The young man remembered his great-grandfather's tales that griffins feared bright light. He took out a flint and tinder from his backpack and lit a small fire. The griffin roared and flew a little further away. Ols fed the fire with dry branches, never taking his eyes off the fierce creature. A long hour passed, feeling like an eternity. Finally, as the sun began to set, the griffin disappeared. Ols, exhausted but relieved, reached the top of the cliff. He had passed the final trial. At the summit of the cliff, the old man was already waiting. His usually stern face softened into a faint smile. Well done, Ols, he said. You have passed all the trials. But beware, the prince's treasure is not what you think. Ols was surprised. He had longed so much to find gold and treasures that he hadn't even considered another treasure. The old man approached the edge of the cliff and pointed downwards. There, deep below, nestled between the rocks, lay a lake. Its surface was calm, like a mirror reflecting the sky. Here is the true treasure of the prince, the old man said. The lake of knowledge. Ols didn't understand. According to legend, the old man continued, the prince was not only a warrior but also a sage. He gathered all his knowledge about the stars, the movement of celestial bodies, the properties of plants, and the secrets of the mountains in this lake. It is said that on certain nights, when the positions of the stars align with those of the day of the prince's death, a miraculous phenomenon occurs on the lake. The water glows, and symbols appear on its surface, containing this knowledge. Ols was impressed. He had never heard of such a thing. Are you ready to witness this wonder? The old man asked. Ols nodded without hesitation. He understood that the true treasure was knowledge that could change the world. They descended from the cliff and set up camp by the lake. The old man told Ols about the prince, his life, and his thirst for knowledge. Days turned into nights. Ols studied the starry sky, trying to memorize the constellations. Finally, the fateful night arrived. The sky cleared, and the stars scattered across it like diamonds. The old man pointed to a certain constellation. It shone with a special light, as if beckoning to them. Suddenly, when the constellation was directly above the lake, something extraordinary happened. The water of the lake pulsed, and from its depths rose a column of light. The light shimmered, changing colors, and strange symbols appeared in it, glowing as if carved into the air. Ols and the old man, breathless, watched this spectacle. They realized that they were witnessing something incredible, a revelation of the stars. The column of light lasted only a short while, but what they saw was enough to change their lives forever. The symbols that appeared in the light contained knowledge about the movement of planets, the healing properties of plants, and the laws of nature. Unfortunately, the old man could no longer fully decipher the symbols. His knowledge was limited, but Oles, thanks to his linguistic skills, could at least partially understand them. They related to medicine, astronomy, and engineering, far surpassing modern knowledge. In the following days, they spent their time painting the symbols and trying to understand them. These were knowledge that could change the world, but they needed to be careful in their use. With sadness in their eyes but hearts filled with discoveries, the friends decided to return to the village. Ahead of them lay a long road, but now they were drawn not by gold or fame but by the responsibility for the knowledge they had gained. Their return was a sensation. Oles told the villagers about the incredible journey and the lake hidden among the rocks. But, according to the agreement with the old man, he did not reveal the secrets of the revelations. He only hinted that he had gained knowledge about the healing properties of plants that would help treat people. Since then, Oles's life changed drastically. He was no longer just a simple village boy. With the knowledge gained from the symbols, he prepared medicines from herbs that helped his fellow villagers recover from illnesses. His reputation as a healer quickly spread throughout the region. Together with his closest friends, Ivan and Bodan, Oles conducted secret research. They built mechanisms that operated on principles unknown at the time. These were water wheels that generated electricity and flying machines that soared on hot air. Of course, these inventions were primitive, but they were a step into the future. They understood that full application of the knowledge they had acquired could lead to chaos. So they used it cautiously, improving the lives of their fellow villagers without disrupting the usual order. Once, a disease spread rapidly through the village, claiming lives at an alarming rate. The remedies known at that time proved ineffective. Oles remembered the symbols depicting a plant with extraordinary properties. He secretly set out with Ivan and Bodan to find this plant near the lake. The search was long and perilous. They had to climb rocky slopes, push through dense thickets, and avoid wild animals. Sometimes it seemed as if the lake itself was hiding its treasure from them, but their persistence paid off. Finally, they found the plant with exactly the characteristics depicted in the symbols. It grew near the foot of a waterfall, its leaves shimmering with a silvery hue in the sunlight. With trembling hands, Oles gathered the necessary amount of the plant. They returned to the village exhausted but hopeful. According to the symbols, this plant had the ability to purify the blood of the disease. Locking himself in his hut, Oles prepared the medicine. The decoction from the plant's leaves turned out remarkably clear, like the lake itself. He began to treat the sick villagers, and within a few days, the disease began to recede. People recovered, their faces regaining a healthy flush. The news of the miraculous healing herb spread far beyond the village. Sick people from all over the district began to converge on Oles's hut. It turned into a veritable hospital. And although he never revealed the secret of the lake, his reputation as a skilled healer grew even more. Years passed. Oles grew old, but his thirst for knowledge never waned. He taught his children and grandchildren to decipher the symbols and use the knowledge for the benefit of humanity. Before his death, Oles gathered all the members of the secret society formed with his closest friends. He told them the entire story of his discoveries, emphasizing the importance of preserving the secret of the lake. They understood that in the wrong hands, this knowledge could cause great destruction. So they decided to become the guardians of the revelations. Oles passed away, but his legacy lived on. The secret society continued to exist, passing down the knowledge from generation to generation. They became careful guardians of the lake, using its gifts only for good, and the secret of the stars remained their sacred oath. The legend of the prince's treasure transformed into a legend of the wise healer Ols. And high in the mountains, amidst inaccessible cliffs, the mysterious lake still slumbers, hiding the knowledge of the stars that could change the world. The story of Ols became a local legend, passed down from generation to generation. The village flourished thanks to the knowledge gained from the symbols. They used it to build better tools, more productive crops, and even rudimentary water supply systems. However, keeping the secret became increasingly challenging. People began to question the origin of Ols's knowledge. Some suspected that he had made a deal with dark forces. Others believed that he was hiding the healing plants for his own glory. Tension reached a critical point when an arrogant magistrate arrived in the village. He heard about the wonders that had occurred since Ols's time and decided to claim these secrets for himself. He accused Ols's grandson, Teres, of sorcery and demanded that he reveal all the secrets. Teres faced a difficult choice. He could deny the accusations, but risked the magistrate applying torture to him and his loved ones. Or he could tell the truth, risking the knowledge falling into the wrong hands. Teres decided to act. He gathered all those who believed in his grandfather and told them the whole story about the lake, the symbols, and the secret society. He called upon them to unite and protect their heritage. The villagers were shocked but inspired. They understood that their village possessed something special. They rallied together to resist the magistrate. When the magistrate heard about Teres' revelation, he became furious. He considered it all to be lies. He gathered his guards and headed to the lake to claim its power for himself. The armed villagers, wielding pitchforks and axes, met them on the path. They fought with desperate bravery, defending their secret. The battle was fierce, but ultimately the villagers emerged victorious. The magistrate fled, his pride shattered. The village found peace once again. They continued to use the knowledge for good, but now they were even more vigilant in preserving it. The lake remained unknown to the outside world, its secrets safeguarded by the faith and unity of the community. The legend of Ols transformed into a story of brave villagers who defended their heritage and preserved the secret of the stars. Thank you for being with us today. I hope that this story has brought you emotions. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell so you don't miss any of our new stories. Thank you for your support. You are the best.